Hello, ladies. As promised, we are going to be doing our blooming in process. This is our healthy living presentation by none other than Katrina. She is a licensed registered dietitian. I told you guys a little bit about her. Um, I have learned so much from her personally, been walking with her through my own journey. I'm still on that journey. And I just felt like she has a wealth of information that could help you guys as well. As you guys know, one of our pillars is healthy living and being physically and mentally healthy. So I want to go ahead and introduce her and just thank her for coming on today. Thank you, Katrina, for coming.
Yes, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me and letting me talk.
Awesome. So I'm going to hand it over to her, and she has a presentation for you guys. You could always comment below. Our plan was to go live, but we're having some technical issues. So we're going to post this video for you guys to watch at a later time, but feel free to comment below. I'll be leaving her information as well in the comments so you can get a hold of her and connect with her and yeah, get all your questions and answers from her. So without further ado, it's yours.
All right. Well, again, thank you for having me. I'm excited to chat more about nutrition today. We'll talk more about like a balanced nutrition and what that looks like. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that we can get the presentation up to go along with. Yeah, it's been a joy working with Bridget. Let me go ahead and see here. Can you see my screen okay, Bridget?
Yeah, it looks
All
perfect.
right. Perfect. All right. So balanced nutrition. Again, my name is Katrina Detter. I'm a registered dietitian. I work for a company called Nourish, which is how Bridget and I connected. But today we're going to talk more about the balanced plate method, explaining some benefits of the balanced plate method, what makes up a balanced plate. You know, there's a lot out there in the media these days. How do we really nourish our bodies, and what's the point of it? Like, why is it important? And then looking at some balanced options while dining out. I know lots of busy mothers are just busy working, and sometimes we have to stop and get food on the go. So how can we choose balanced options while dining out? Just a little bit about me so we can connect a little bit more. I have my associate's degree from Southern Adventist University in Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee. And then I have my bachelor's degree from Loma Linda University in Southern California. And to become a dietitian, we go through 4 years of undergrad, and some people go on to get their master's degree. But we all have to take 1,500 plus hours of supervised practice to become a dietitian. And then once we go through our education and our supervised practice, we then go on to pass national boards so we can practice as a registered dietitian. Um, and then let's see. Oh, it's not changing screens. Oopsie. Share. How about now?
Okay, there it is. Yeah.
Okay, I might just leave it on the this part then. Okay, we'll just leave it here.
Yeah.
All right. So to become a dietitian, you have to go through supervised practice and then pass national boards. And then my work experience, I was a food service manager for a while before working as a clinical dietitian in a psychiatric hospital. And then I started working in outpatient private practice in 2022, and now I'm a telehealth dietitian with Nourish. So it's been a really fun experience. Um, I also have a blog called Faith Nourish Fit where I share healthy recipes or healthier recipes, and some devotions as well. All right, now let's talk more about what is balanced nutrition. Kind of it's what it sounds like, right? Having a balance of nutrients. All foods can fit, make them fit for you. We all have different bodies. We all have different needs nutritionally. So it is important to, if you're interested working with a dietitian, to really tailor it to your needs. But all foods can fit. We have a healthy relationship with food, and kind of lowering foods off of their pedestal is really important. That way we can truly appreciate food for what it is. We have taste buds for a reason. We want to enjoy our food and understand there's food for nourishment as well as enjoyment, and they can definitely overlap. Um, so having a balance of nutrients, and
Mhm.
that comes from proteins, fiber, and fat. These are the three I really like to highlight with my patients because there's lots out there in the media, right? Like eat 150 grams of protein a day, which may work for some, right? That might be someone's needs, but it's too general, right? We need to understand everybody is different. But if we can prioritize protein, fiber, and fat at every meal, we will have a balance of nutrients, which we'll learn a little bit more about later. What is good about that? Why is that important?
Mhm.
So protein is a hot topic these days. Protein's important because it helps build and repair our muscles. It gives structure for our hormones and enzyme production throughout our body. Really important for our hair, skin, and nails to have enough protein there for protein or creation of our hair, skin, and nails, right? To keep it healthy.
Mhm.
Helps stabilize blood sugar. That's probably my favorite thing to talk about because I do work a lot in women's health, PCOS, and weight loss and things of that nature. So having stable blood sugars is key for all of those things. Protein is very helpful here. And it helps us stay full between meals, so we're not hungry. And we get protein from a lot of different things. I think the biggest thing we think about is meat, poultry, or eggs, dairy. Um, some soy products, great source of protein here, especially for vegetarians or vegans. And we also get protein from beans and legumes, grains even. Now, I do like to point out here too that even our fruits and vegetables have protein. Maybe not a significant amount of protein, but I like to say every gram of protein counts. Okay, so we get it from all types of foods, but primarily protein is going to come from our meat, dairy, eggs, soy, beans, and legumes. Fiber, that's number two. So protein, now fiber. Fiber is only found in plants. All right. And of course, like fiber supplements. But if we're eating enough plants, then we can work on getting enough fiber. Fiber is really important because it keeps us full for long periods of time, similarly to protein. It aids in digestion, helps keep us regular. Is also really important for blood sugar control. Remember, protein is really important for that. Fiber is also important for that. Fiber can also help lower cholesterol and prevent chronic disease. So lots of benefits of having a high fiber diet, okay? Again, everybody is different. If there are certain medical conditions going around, maybe high fiber is not the answer. But again, if I'm working with PCOS, weight loss, weight management, diabetes, heart health, fiber is key. Another fun thing I love to point out with fiber is that it's found in carbs. So with the world really kind of against carbs these days, that's the only place we can truly get fiber, high quality fiber. And so I like to take the approach of carb quality over carb restriction. So sure, maybe we're not getting the most of our carbs from candy or white bread, white grains, but fruits, vegetables, beans, other grains, those types of things. So that kind of leads us into sources, which comes from our fruits, our veggies, both non-starchy and starchy. Okay, that's your broccoli and your potatoes, both carbs, whole grains, beans, nuts, and seeds. So nuts and seeds are more fat. We'll talk about that in a second, but they do contain fiber. So they're very low carb, but they still contain some carbs, and that's why they have some fiber. So if you remember anything else, remember that fiber is found in plants, okay? All right, so protein, fiber, the last one is fat. These are the three key things that make up a balanced plate. Oopsie, that's not what I wanted to do. Healthy fats are important for sustained energy. So carbs, we haven't really talked about in detail, but high fiber carbs, carbs in general, give our body immediate quick energy. Fat is more sustained energy. So think about energy between meals or when you go on hikes or long bouts of exercise, the energy, once we've burnt our carbs, we're then going to go and burn fat, our fat stores for energy. So healthy fat, important for sustained energy. Brain health, our brain functions off of 60% fat. So really important that we're getting fat for cognition, for memory, hormone production. Us ladies, especially menstruating women, we really need enough fat for hormone production. Helps us absorb fat-soluble vitamins. So if you see supplementation, really important to take with meals because our fat-soluble vitamins, vitamin A, E, D, and K, we need fat to absorb these vitamins. Really important there. And fats also help delay gastric emptying, which means that keeps us full between meals. So key thing with all three of these nutrients, protein, fiber, or high fiber carbs, and 3 are healthy fats, they keep us full for long periods of time. So we can go 3 to 5 hours between meals and not be thinking about food and just be fueled and move on with our day. We can get these healthy fats from avocados, olives, dark chocolate, different oils like cooking oils. Avocado and olive are going to be higher in monounsaturated fats. Our nuts and seeds, fatty fish is really high in omega-3s, which are great for our heart and our brains and our immune health and our decreasing inflammation. And then we can also get fat from dairy as well. All right. Now, why is it important? Why do we want to have balanced meals? Well, after looking through each nutrient, our protein, fiber, and fat, if we can have a combination of these 3 nutrients, then we can have proper nourishment for our bodies to prevent disease and have a healthy metabolism and also manage disease. Let's say we do have diabetes or we do have some other type of chronic illness. If we can eat more balanced meals, that can help maintain or maybe even put it in remission at times, depending on what you have. Weight management, really important here. If we are trying to lose weight or maintain our weight, we want to make sure we're feeding our body enough to sustain it. And getting it from a variety of high fiber foods, healthy fats, and proteins is a great way to do it. It can help with our hunger, fullness, and satisfaction, which is so important. This is more eating behaviors, really paying attention to our hunger cues, our fullness, and are we eating foods we like? We don't want to just eat mashed potatoes, grilled chicken and steamed broccoli for every meal because that's all one note and kind of boring. Bringing in flavor to our foods can be really helpful for that satisfaction piece. Stable blood sugars, right? Protein, fiber, fat, keep our blood sugars stable so that we're not having lots of ups and downs in our blood sugar that leads to fatigue. We can have a healthy heart with higher fiber foods and heart healthy fats. And then food enjoyment. Again, all foods can fit. So if you look at this balanced plate and we have half our plate a non-starchy veggie or fruit, quarter of a plate some sort of protein, whether that's a plant-based protein or an animal-based protein, and then a quarter of a plate a starchy carb, we're getting all of the nutrients we need. We're getting the protein, we're getting the fat, we're getting the fiber to help us stay full and satisfied. Let's say we really want macaroni and cheese, right? Or we really want something that maybe diet culture would tell us is bad, right? Even if it's not the most nourishing, we can think, all right, I'm really craving this. I really want to have this. What can I add to it to make it more balanced or more nutrient dense? So if it's macaroni and cheese, have it in a reasonable portion, right? A quarter plate, about a half a cup serving. And then make sure you're pairing it with a lean protein. So chicken, tofu, beans maybe. And then really emphasize on the fruits or veggies. Non-starchy veggies are going to be a little bit more blood sugar friendly here. So maybe we're having, steamed cabbage or, roasted broccoli, Brussels sprouts, something like that to amp up the fiber, amp up the protein for a type of food that may be a little bit more carb rich, maybe it's lower fiber. So we're eating something we want in a reasonable portion and adding what we need. And that's the theme we're going to carry on as we look at tips for dining out. All right. We have a busy life, right? Especially if we have kids. How can we eat out and still prioritize balance? I have a framework I like to kind of promote with my patients, and that is, again, number one, prioritize protein and fiber if possible. And really, first step could be even asking yourself, what do I truly want, right? If you're going to a steakhouse and you really want a steak, but you get, I don't know, grilled chicken instead, neither one is bad. But if you really want the steak and you get the grilled chicken, your satisfaction may be off. So ask yourself first, what do I want? I didn't put that here, I apologize. But what do I want right now? Number two, prioritize protein and fiber if possible. Sometimes it won't be, but we can try. So if you're going to a steakhouse, getting a 3 to 6 ounce portion of a protein, so whether that's steak, fish, chicken, ordering a side salad to prioritize some of that fiber. And if you want to work in the weight management route, maybe eating the dressing on the side would be helpful to prevent like a lot of extra fat and calories there. And then you could get another side veggie for some more fiber, or you could get a baked potato, corn, peas, something plant rich. So we're getting fiber rich foods. And whatever you do, enjoy it mindfully. If they have bread on the table and you really want it, again, you can prioritize it, but eat it mindfully, thinking about your hunger, fullness, and satisfaction. Telling yourself, you know, I can have leftovers. It's okay. I don't have to eat everything on my plate right now, to really practice that hunger, fullness piece. If you're going to an Italian restaurant and you choose a pasta dish, if whole grain is possible, you could go for that for a little bit more fiber. And then add lots of veggies and protein, eat it mindfully. So if there's an option to add chicken or steamed broccoli or something of that nature, really prioritize that protein and fiber. And then again, eat mindfully. Make sure we're eating mindfully. And the last one I kind of picked was a Mexican restaurant. Choosing a veggie loaded meal like fajitas or a burrito bowl, something like that where you can get more veggies in, bell peppers, onions, tomatoes, lettuce, those types of things. And then you have your protein of some sort, like chicken, steak, maybe, you know, beans at Mexican restaurants. And then if there are chips and salsa, eat it mindfully. So not that we have to do without, but just kind of being intentional, like, all right, I really want the quesadilla. Maybe I make sure I get some chicken with it, and I do a big side salad with my quesadilla, or maybe add spinach to the quesadilla or something like that to get some more fiber in as well. Now I did come up with already here. So yes, slowing down your eating pace for mindful eating. Allowing time for your hunger to catch up with your brain. It takes about 20 minutes. So enjoy the experience, chat with the people you're having your meal with. Community is a big part of lifestyle, right? We think, you know, nutrition and exercise is the only thing involved, but there's so much involved. We have our stress, sleep, and our community too. So enjoy who you're having your meal with. Pay attention to the taste and flavors and textures of the food. And, you know, we can always have leftovers. And enjoy your experience. All right, now I have two examples here. We're gonna walk through Chick-fil-A and Chipotle, because I know those are popular places that have all around the nation. So again, step one, what do you want? Step two, balance it out. Step three, enjoy it mindfully. So let's say we really want the original chicken sandwich. That's what we want. What do we need? So we have some protein here, there's some carbs in that, some fat. We're missing fiber, some high fiber foods. So choosing a kale salad as a side, slow down your eating pace and really enjoy the food. Another option could be, what do I want? Maybe you really want fries, because their waffle fries are arguably the best, right? I love them. So maybe you choose the market salad as the entree with all the berries and the nuts and such. Chicken if we're eating meat. And then again, slowing down, paying really close attention to our fullness cues, and saving leftovers when we're full. Chipotle. What do you want? Maybe you want a burrito bowl. Balance it out. Choose your protein, whether that's the chicken, steak, the sofritas, whatever that looks like. Maybe choosing beans or rice, or a little bit of both, right? We don't want to have like a huge amount of both. Veggies, lettuce, sour cream or cheese or guac, or a little bit of each, right? Being mindful with the amount we have. Maybe we're skipping the chips and the tortilla here, and then slowing down our eating pace. And then the last one could be, again, number one, what do I want? Maybe you want the chicken quesadilla. Balance it out. So balancing it out with 3 balanced sides. Maybe it's the guac, salsa, and the fajita veggies. And then again, slowing down that eating pace. So 3 steps to dining out. Again, asking yourself, what do you want? Balancing it out. Where's the protein and fiber? And then step 3, enjoy it mindfully. All right, let's do a little review. Again, the balanced plate method is a great principle to implement because it promotes stable blood sugars, healthy digestion, meal satisfaction, and it can also help with disease prevention. When we think about the balanced plate method, it's comprised of prioritizing protein, fiber, and healthy fat at every meal. And we can still make mindful choices when dining out when we prioritize that protein and fiber and slowing down our eating pace. This helps prevent overeating, and we can still enjoy our food by being mindful. All right, thank you all for listening. If you are interested in meeting with a dietitian, Nourish is the easiest way to see a dietitian via telehealth, and you can get it covered by your insurance. We help people find affordable nutrition care, and it works with your insurance plan. About 94% of our patients pay $0 out of pocket. 90% of people who use Nourish felt happier and healthier after 12 weeks of working with their dietitian. If you are interested, please send me an email, katrina.detter@usenourish.com. We can talk a little bit about what your goals are. If we're a good fit, we can schedule an appointment, or I can find you one within our company that might suit your needs better. But yeah, I'd love to reach out. So let me know. All right. I think you're on mute.
Thank you, Katrina. But I missed that mute button. That was so, like, even hearing it again, I've heard some of this before, and we've talked about this in my journey. And just hearing it again, it's just like so eye-opening to me. I do have some questions here really quickly. You talked about like the different balanced meal method. But there's, like, so much information out there that people gets deterred from. I was just seeing something yesterday where it was like, "Don't eat brown rice," and I'm like, "What?" Like, I eat brown rice with every Chipotle, like, it's just crazy. And so what do you think is the most misunderstood concept out there on diet right now?
That's a great question. I think there's so many. The one I see the most with women that I work with is the fear of carbs.
Mm,
Just this week, I heard someone say that oatmeal was bad. Like, they heard on TikTok that oatmeal was bad for you, and they're like, "What's bad about oatmeal?" And
yeah.
it really comes down to carbs in general, the way that our body processes carbs, whether it's a candy bar or a bowl of oatmeal, technically it's going to spike our blood sugar.
Mhm,
The difference is fiber, right? There's more fiber in oatmeal than there is a candy bar. And by itself, sure, your blood sugars are going to spike, and it could lead to fatigue. It could lead to, uncontrollable blood sugars over a period of time, may lead to other chronic diseases. But again, big picture nutrition. How are we pairing our foods to optimize our health, to optimize our body? And
mhm,
for some people, maybe we need to go lower carb. If we do have insulin resistance, maybe we do need to look at more lower carb, but that doesn't mean no carb.
mm,
Um, so I think that's the thing too, is like removing the linear thinking that this food is good or bad, and look at the big picture of nutrition. What are we putting on our plates most of the time? What are we consuming most of the time? And how can we balance it out to make it more optimizing for our body?
mhm,
So if we want oatmeal, if we like oatmeal or we like brown rice, let's go for brown rice. If we really like brown rice, it's
mhm,
a carb, it's a high fiber carb because it's a whole grain.
mm,
We have it in a mindful portion, a third to a half a cup, and we add some protein rich food to it. That's going to be our starchy carb.
mm,
Beans technically are a starch too, but if we are vegetarian, we could add some beans. We could do tofu, edamame, something like that, and then really load up on the non-starchy veggies. What would go good with that? We're going to do like a sushi bowl. Let's say we're doing like a half a cup of rice, brown rice, throw in some edamame and maybe some like cucumber, like a cucumber pickled onion situation, some sesame seeds, maybe a sauce of some sort for some more fat. And we've got a really balanced meal, and
mhm,
we're including brown rice. So yeah, I hear that a lot with the culture. That's a big one. The other one I hear a lot is like the carnivore diet's really big right now,
Mhm.
because meat doesn't spike your blood sugar, right? So you think, oh, that should be good for me. It should be good for me to eat meat all the time. Um, However, we know that saturated fat from animal products can lead to heart disease. It can increase our cholesterol levels. And if we're not eating plants, right, fiber from plants, carbs,
Mhm.
we're not going to have healthy digestion, right?
Mhm.
We're in, without getting too sciencey, fiber helps bind to cholesterol in our body. So if we had high cholesterol, but we're not eating fiber, it's not going to bind and we won't excrete it out when we go to the bathroom. So that's another one I hear a lot of too, like the carnivore diet or really like keto, super low carb. Um, so yeah, big picture nutrition. Look at the big picture.
Yeah, that is so good. I love that. And last question is about ingredients. Just if we're at the grocery store, a lot of the things that you talked about was like meat, vegetables, and carbs, which are found in like the fruits and vegetable area and usually like the meat area. But when you go into the deeper part of the grocery store and you start to look at like products that you can buy, what are some harmful products to keep an eye out for?
Mm, I love this question. So you're right. Processed foods are big in our culture, in our country. Um, and I don't know if there's specific harmful ingredients to be mindful of, but I'll give a little bit of information on how to navigate the food label a little bit more.
Mhm.
One thing that I like to really focus on with my patients is the added sugar piece because we get plenty of carbs from our fruits and vegetables, grains, beans, fiber comes there too. We really don't need added sugar. Added sugar is anything added during processing. So this could be table sugar and it spikes the blood sugar. So this could be table sugar, even honey, agave, maple syrup, high fructose corn syrup. Um, those types of ingredients are all added sugars. There's a lot more than that too. And that's added during processing. And the American Heart Association recommends 25 grams of added sugar or less per day for women. Um, so if we are trying to have healthier blood sugars and we're trying to lose weight or we're trying to regulate our periods for if you have PCOS or something like that, really budgeting our added sugar could be helpful. Not that it's bad, right? We don't really think of it as bad because then it might make us want it a little bit more. But my rule of thumb when looking at the food label, 5 grams of added sugar or less per serving if we're going to have that food regularly.
Mhm.
Um, and if we're looking at percentages on the food label, that's the percent daily value of those nutrients. If the nutrient is 20% or higher, that means it's high in that nutrient.
Mhm.
If it's 5% or lower, that means it's low in that nutrient. So things we would like for the food label to be high in would be protein if it's listed and fiber. Fiber's listed under carbs. Carb is a big category and underneath it'll say fiber, total sugar and added sugar. So fiber, if it's greater than 20%, great. It's a high fiber product. We would like to see sodium, cholesterol, and added sugar to be less than 5%. If we're trying to choose a more um, nutrient dense product. Now, of course, there's so many products, so it's kind of hard to say, right? Like, a Slim Jim is not going to have a lot of, probably not going to have a lot of sugar in it because it's mostly a meat stick, but it may have other things in it as well. So it's really hard to generalize, but that's typically watching added sugar,
Okay.
going for more higher fiber products, and really making sure we're getting some protein in there if we're going for a snack.
Yeah. Wow. I've learned so much. My my whole view of eating has changed since sitting with you and just working with you. So I highly suggest you guys reach out to her so she can we talked about the different types of hunger. There's so many things that we talked about, and you will learn so much by sitting with her. So definitely recommend her if you're on a nutrition journey or healthy journey. You're just like, I go to Raising Cane's every day, which is horrible because they have these packaged meals of all, like, there's no fiber in this meal. And I'm like, people have that every day. So yes, it's important to have this knowledge. Knowledge is power. I hope you guys got something out of this. I want to thank Katrina for her time, her presentation. Again, I'll put her information below this video and you guys will have it. I'll share with you guys. So reach out to her. Thank you again for meeting with us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.